Hey folks, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're watching WGS-TV. Tough guy.
As WWE paid tribute to the Village people on last night at Hell in a Cell, we welcome you to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm the WrestleGamer, WB Billy Boudreaux, and this is going to be the Hell in the Cell full show review, guys. And along with me on the panel for the review, first up, he's James from the Big Easy. James, how you doing?
Macho man. Wait, what?
Oh man! And ladies and gentlemen, our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV. He is the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
In the Navy. In the Navy.
Well, anyway, so quickly talk about the kickoff show, which was basically the big focus was Mizdow TV, and it was just basically a lovey-dovey segment between Mizdow and Miz saying, you know what? You are the best stunt double ever. You are my friend. And they started embracing. And basically, it was just a promo for the United States title match. And that was basically what it was. And that's all it was. But I got to say, though, when we get to that match, we got something we all got something to say about that. I know everybody, both of you guys got something to say about that. But let's start off with the Intercontinental Championship 2 out of 3 Falls match. Now, when we had the announcement on Friday Night SmackDown that we were going to get a 2 out of 3 Falls match out of Ziggler and Cesaro, based on the epic match that they had already for the Intercontinental Championship, I knew we were in for a real treat to open up the pay-per-view, James, and that's exactly what we got.
Exactly, and really, Cesaro, him having a 2 out of 3 Falls match earlier in the year on NXT Arrival against Sami Zayn, you knew, and the fact that Ziggler is a hard worker, you knew these two, they battle it out and they would do the best. And and this is close to being match of the night.
Lance, what I found highly unusual about the way they worked this match, and normally, I want to say about 99% of the time when we see 2 out of 3 Falls matches, that it always goes to the third fall. We always see them take the first 2 falls, split them, and then we go to the third deciding fall. However, WWE did not do that last night. They had Ziggler take it in 2 straight falls, and I don't think we've really seen that very often happening in the wrestling industry, Lance.
No, and I'll tell you why I kind of think that. A 2 out of 3 Falls match that goes to 3 falls takes up a nice chunk of time, and this was a very stacked card. And on top of that, they had 2 matches that they know are going to go minimum 20 to 35 or more minutes in the Hell in a Cell matches. And then you have to squeeze in 5 other matches, so I just think they told them, okay, y'all put each other over, and make each other look good, but don't take up a whole hell of a lot of time.
Well, we're going to say flat out, guys, that Ziggler and Cesaro, if not the best match of the night, possibly a match of the year candidate right here. If it's not with WWE, then definitely right here on WGS. I know past couple of years I've been saying we'll do year-end awards, but I promise and actually guarantee on this video there will be a year-end awards for 2014 right here on WGS TV, and that is definitely a match of the year candidate. So be sure you stay tuned for that. Following that, Bella.
Hold on, sorry.
Thriller and Bella.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's something we really couldn't use to describe this matchup. Nikki versus Brie, of course, with the loser becoming the winner's assistant for 30 days. And to really surmise about this matchup, because it's really not much to talk about, it was really actually expected to go down the way I thought it was going to go down, and it was definitely expected to go the way that Nick Forcoy from Sports Entertainment Tonight said on the predictions video for Hell in the Cell. 99% of the time, this kind of stipulation favors the heel over the face, because then it puts an ordeal on the face. And technically right now Brie was the face, Nikki was the heel. Of course they would have her lose, but there is a couple of things I definitely want to point out that I got really surprised on. One, Lance, is Brie Bella actually attempting a plancha on the outside? And two, the result of that plancha. Did you see Brie land on Nikki's leg?
Damn.
I mean,
but then again,
yeah.
To me, I wouldn't quite crap on the match because it was pretty good for these two.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That is an interesting point. And like I said, the man from Southbrook, somebody known as Cartman, has joined us on the review, and it's just something, that's still. I want to call Nikki Bella lucky that she didn't injure her shin. I mean, she was out for 2013 with a shin injury. They even brought that up on commentary, and I think she probably just missed re-injuring that thing by the hair, by a very small fraction, because that landing looked really bad. But
it looked like it got botched really badly.
Yeah, but following that, the tag team championship on the line, Gold and Stardust taking on the Usos. Now, it's not to say that the feud, the rivalry between them is bad. It's not. But we need more depth in the tag team division. And it's something that we even said on the predictions video, that we need more depth in the tag team division. We need some of the other teams that they have right now, especially the NXT teams, like the Ascension, the Lucha Dragons, Ty Dillinger, and Jason Jordan. We need those guys. We need those guys. We need those teams to come up and be added to the main roster to give the tag team division more depth. I mean, who's going to get the next title shot now? Los Matadores? No, they're not built up for that. No. Slater Gator? Really? No. So we need fresh faces. We need more tag teams in the division. But that's my only beef about this match, Cartman. It's the fact that we've seen it over and over again. But, however, they never fail to disappoint, because it was still an entertaining match.
Yeah, I'm going to say it this way. It's kind of like Cena and Orton. The rivalry is old, but the matches are always good. It's the same with the Usos and Golden Stardust. The matches are always good, but the rivalry is getting boring. They need to find something to do with the... they need to find something to do, because it's getting boring just watching the same thing over and over and over and over and over again.
I wonder if that's the main complaint about 95% of the Cena haters out there. Anyway, long story short, it was Goldust hitting the final cut on one of the Usos. I forget who, because they're twins and it's hard to tell them apart. And they retained the championship. Match 4 of the card, guys. And this is when I would think the IWC started to have its first orgasm, is the fact that it was John Cena and Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell, the winner, to become new #1 contender for Survivor Series. And then next thing you know, all I'm seeing from the IWC on social media, yes, and it's not to salute Daniel Bryan. It's to salute the fact that the actual main event on Hell in a Cell, they were going to leave it to Ambrose and Rollins. And one thing I definitely said on the Facebook page last night during my coverage, Lance, is that WWE is putting a lot of trust into them to really cap off the pay-per-view and have a really good ending to the show. That's showing WWE putting a lot of trust into Ambrose and Rollins for that.
Very true, but I mean, Joseph Knight from CWA said this is how you could probably tell that this was a Triple H run pay-per-view and not a Vince McMahon run pay-per-view. Which, if this is how he's going to end pay-per-views and stuff, I'm looking forward to see what Triple H comes up with next.
Definitely. I got to agree with you. I mean, it was a big step up from what we've normally seen out of WWE when it comes to their pay-per-views, but we'll talk about that more when we get to the actual main event of Hell in a Cell. Right now, Orton and Cena. This was a match, guys and gals, that, again, did not disappoint, despite, the bell instantly rings, and then already the haters were getting their moment on TV, getting their moment to shine. Let's go, Cena. Hello, do you guys not see the hat I'm wearing? I wear the hat for a reason. All right, and for one thing, I even said it on the Facebook page. It's because I respect Cena as a worker. I respect what he's done, and everything that he's accomplished in the business. And two, to piss off you haters. Flat out. But anyway, besides Dallas being a pro Lesnar, by the way, did anybody last night see that big goof behind Paul Heyman wearing the $9.99 shirt and the sock on his left hand? I wonder what he did with that sock after the show was over. I'm just saying.
God.
But anyway, it was still a great match. But this was a matchup that had 5 finishers, guys. 5 finishers in one match, which kind of takes away from the term finisher. It doesn't give it any meaning anymore. I mean, everybody says that Cena kicks out of everyone's finisher. Well, Orton does the exact same thing.
Isn't that the way it is on every single pay-per-view? Finishers, you have to hit like 6 of them to win.
Yeah.
That's the way it is every pay-per-view.
Orton kicked out of 2 attitude adjustments. Cena kicked out of 2 RKOs, and then it took an attitude adjustment off the top through a table to give John Cena the win. So the IWC right now can suck it because they're throwing out the term that Cena always kicks out at 2. But guess what? Randy Orton is now guilty of that infraction because we have evidence. We've seen it just last night. But it was also a lot of people are up there. Oh, why did Cena win? Why did Cena win? Think back to what happened at the end of Monday Night Raw last week. The whole incident that happened with Orton and Rollins. It really wouldn't make any sense whatsoever to push Orton towards Lesnar and completely forget about what happened with Orton and Rollins at the end of Monday Night Raw last week. It really wouldn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, what I saw I was gonna say when you saw Orton get curb stomped by Rollins, you could kind of see the fact that they were going to put Cena over at the pay-per-view and start up a feud between Rollins and Orton. The question just was where is Ambrose going to go, but main event solved that issue.
One thing I definitely need to mention, because I was talking with Gohan 6425 from YouTube on Skype, and he said, "Why do we have to have another match?" Because I was telling him, I think the fans, we deserve a rubber match for this year between Cena and Lesnar. We had one match at SummerSlam, which was insanely ridiculous. Night of Champions was a bit better than the crap fest they put up on SummerSlam. So that's 2 matches down right there. We definitely deserve a 3rd match to cap off the rivalry for this year. We said, what did they need a rubber match? They had a match in 2003. It does not count for 2014. It does not count. What they were doing in 2003 has no relevancy whatsoever. It just doesn't. It doesn't work, and it doesn't compute. So it's not going to work that way. But anyway, I'm dwelling on one match. We need to go further to possibly everyone's favorite moment of the night, the United States Championship match. Sheamus taking on The Miz. One thing, you gotta love Mizdow. Whatever Mizdow's doing now, it's working because it's entertaining. It's getting the fans to start supporting him. You just gotta love it. Anything he's doing, it's just flat out entertaining.
Yeah, but it's sad the fact that everybody's wasting a good talent. Just it's a comedy show.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah,
he is a good talent. It's just the fact that talent's being wasted because comedy.
Go ahead.
I said he's a hell of a talent. It's sad that they're wasting that talent because they want to do a fucking comedy routine that would be better fit for Comedy Central than WWE programming.
Well, Miz would go up for a don't like sandal off the top rope. Sheamus would catch him with the bro kick. Sheamus retains the championship. And here comes to the fun part. Here comes to the very fun part of everybody's evening. Again, we make mention of Mizdow and everything he's doing, mirroring the Miz being the stunt double. Miz is unconscious. Sheamus sees Mizdow laying down next to Miz, picks up his arm, and Mizdow does the same thing. Picks him up, starts shaking him. Mizdow does the same thing, and then next thing you know...
YMCA!
Come on, everybody! YMCA!
No, just no.
I mean...
Why?
Can we call that best segment of the night just to be fun?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because YMCA.
Yeah, definitely, because that was hilarious. And then, of course, Sheamus finishes off with another bro kick to Miz. But props to Miz now. That was funny. That was funny, to say the least. Following that, guys and gals, we had Rusev and Big Show. And one thing that's really come to mind, Lance, when you start thinking about what's been going on as of late with Rusev and Big Show, they're pushing Rusev like crazy now in the WWE. I mean, think about the talent that he's been pushed over. I mean, he's been put over by Mark Henry. He's now been put over by Big Show. You know, he's had Big E, who's a recent Intercontinental Champion. He's Jack Swagger, a former World Heavyweight Champion. This dude is really being pushed heavy by WWE to possibly be the big next monster heel of the company. Thoughts, Lance?
Yeah, definitely. Because when you kick a serviceman, you're going to piss off the fans. And yeah, I'm thinking next big hit, I think we might have to get a certain Olympic champion in here to beat him. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors going out there about a certain Olympic hero coming back to the WWE, but that will be for another time and another day. Up next, of course, we're going to go to our resident Divas correspondent, James and Big Easy, to talk a little bit more about the Divas Championship match between Paige and AJ Lee. James, did anyone inform Paige that we can actually see the thong behind her tights last night on Hell in a Cell?
Can we also say that with Brie Bella too, because that also happened with Brie. Anyway,
no offense to Daniel Bryan or John Cena, but I would like to take both of them for the night.
Yeah.
Hey, Paige is single, so you have a chance. Anyway, this was a very interesting back and forth match. The ending of the match kind of really intrigued me about it was the fact that, you know, both of them were on the outside, and then, you know, Paige is on the barricade. AJ sweeps her leg, and you see Paige's head hit that back of her head hit that barricade, and then basically, like, the referee was like 6, 7. Alicia Fox tried to, you know, motivate Paige to get back, but then she just dragged her and brought her back into the ring, leading to the Black Widow and an immediate tap out by Paige, and AJ's retained the title. After that, yeah, that BFF thing, yeah, kind of no longer. Oh, by the way, at that point, that spot of the barricade, you kind of see Bray Wyatt in the crowd. He's talking to somebody dressed up as Mankind.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Actually, he was looking at his phone too.
I think he was doing other things with his phone, especially since Paige was standing right in front of him.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him. I think everybody would.
I'll show you the picture.
But
blame him either.
Well, as James is looking for that picture, we're going to go to the final match, the main event of Hell in a Cell: Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. You know, again, it's WWE putting a ton of trust, you know, into these two guys. You know, Ambrose and Rollins, relatively new talents, in a sense. They've only been in the WWE for about a year and a half.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. Yeah, and all I'm going to say is WWE, they did not disappoint.
I mean, first off, we had Ambrose scaling the Hell in a Cell structure with a kendo stick in the back, and the next thing you know, we see Seth Rollins sending up Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury up to the Hell in a Cell, and next thing you know, they start getting the tar whooped out of them, and then they started doing more stuff. Surprisingly, that cell is really reinforced because nobody went through it. But however, there was a spot on the outside, of course, where they did take the dive. Everybody's been wanting them to take the dive, and you know, we've seen Rollins take a dive off a ladder in TLC a couple of years ago in a 6-man tag, and that was an epic thing to see. And of course, they had to reciprocate it right here for Hell in a Cell, and they did exactly that. But this time, both Ambrose and Rollins crashed and burned, and of course, they did the traditional gurney stuff. You know, they got off the gurney and started fighting even more, and a continued match, and it was just really, really a good, violent match. And of course we had fans chanting CZW because they were both in Combat Zone Wrestling, if my recollection is correct.
They were chanting ECW too.
ECW? I thought I was hearing CZW because
I heard ECW.
I'm gonna add this too with that about that. The promo from McFoley on Raw made that the spot coming off the side of the cell. It made it that much more like awesome.
Look at James.
Oh, God.
If you could see right here, this is Bray Wyatt. Look at Bray Wyatt on the phone.
Oh my God!
Oh
my God!
And look where he's taking a picture of too. Yikes!
Can you blame him?
No, I don't blame him at all. But it's very interesting that we brought Bray Wyatt up because towards the finish of the match, Ambrose reveals 2 cinder blocks that he had, and looked like he was going to return the favor to Rollins from when he got curb stomped by Rollins into the cinder blocks. Lights go out. Then next thing you know, we start hearing this strange chanting. And then next thing you know, we see a Bray Wyatt lantern that starts shooting smoke or fog up from the ring, and they started showing a hologram. And at first it looked really hard, really difficult to make out exactly what it is. But then again, of course, the symbolism was there already. It's a Bray Wyatt lantern. Of course, it's going to symbolize Bray Wyatt and the return of Bray Wyatt. And what a way to bring him back. They had him attack Ambrose and basically cost him the match. And when I look at this, Cartman, this kind of tells me that one thing, that they want to take Ambrose and finish that the angle right now between Ambrose and Rollins, and they want to push him for an angle with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. I'll say if you paid attention to it, you can see the silhouette. Not that many people noticed it, but something I kind of thought of, the fact that it made it look like a ghost. I was thinking maybe Sister Abigail, because they remember back when he first debuted, back with the whole Bray Wyatt gimmick, I guess that she was dead, and the whole silhouette with the you know what I mean.
Yeah, but what a way to finish off Hell in the Cell, guys. As now time to go into our overall scores and our picks for best and worst match of Hell in the Cell this year. This was a really good pay-per-view. I don't know if we should make any mention of Mark Henry and Bo Dallas, because I think that might have happened on the kickoff. I'm not entirely
it happened on the kickoff.
But is it worth mentioning?
Okay, let me.
No, it's not worth mentioning.
Bo Dallas got squashed by Mark Henry. There you go.
Oh,
no! It's not Bo Dallas. It was Bo Washington. Remember that?
Bo Washington. And anyway, this was a really great pay-per-view. I don't know why some of the people in the IWC are still complaining, oh, it's because Cena won, he sucks. And look, people need to stop being marks. That's number one. And number two, I got to say, it was a very entertaining pay-per-view. I love the fact that WWE actually gave Rollins and Ambrose a chance to main event a major pay-per-view within the company. And to show them that they do have that ability to captivate the crowd, especially in a main event setting like they had last night at Hell in the Cell. I really enjoyed that. Now to see which Hell in the Cell matchup was the better of the two, I got to give the edge to Ambrose and Rollins, because they did a lot more stuff in there. Even though we did see a lot of weapons for Cena and Orton, but they did a crap load more stuff than with Ambrose and Rollins, and the finish was really good. Bringing Bray Wyatt back the way they did, I thought it was very, very well done. The pay-per-view is going to get a 4 out of 5. Best match of the night, hands down, 2 out of 3 falls Intercontinental title match between Ziggler and Cesaro. To me, when you start up the show that epically with that great match between those two guys, it makes it really hard for a good match to follow. And think about the matchup that followed that, which is the worst match of the night, Nikki and Brie Bella. Even though they tried their best, it was kind of like you had an epic match, a great match with two great talent like Cesaro and Ziggler. And yes, Gohan, I said Ziggler as well. I think he's a great talent too. I'll explain to you guys a little bit later what I'm talking about. And then we come from that kind of a high to a little bit of a low with Nikki and Brie Bella.
I use it as a piss break, if you want me to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, but anyway, it was still an overall great show. I'm glad I had the opportunity to watch it. And again, finally, my overall score is a 4 out of 5. Lance, let's go to you next. Get your overall score and your picks for best and worst match of Hell in a Cell this year.
Overall, I got to give it a 3.75. I just can't give it a 4 because of the Bella's match. And the Rusev show match just made it where it couldn't quite just get up there to a 4. But best match and best sell has to go to Ambrose and Rollins. Honorable mention, and yes, babe, I did just steal your gimmick for a second, the 2 out of 3 falls match. Worst match, the Bella's match. Best segment, though, has to go to the YMCA at the Sheamus and Ms. Dow thing.
Another thing I want to bring up that irked me just a little bit, and we didn't hear it that much last night during Hell in a Cell, but we definitely heard it from during the AJ Lee and Paige match, and I think you guys will probably know what I'm talking about. It's the fact that the fans are still chanting for CM Punk. Guys, Punk was a great talent, but the dude took his ball and went home and said, "Screw the rest of you."
And the thing is that
when he did that, I lost all respect for him.
And that's the thing, really, with the IWC, they say, oh, CM Punk, because, he took his ball and went home. The fact is that, WWE's trying their best not to do anything with Punk, but as long as AJ Lee's there,
yeah,
the CM Punk show will never go away. It won't.
James, by the way, on to you for your overall score and your picks for best and worst match of Hell in a Cell.
I'm going to be with Lance, because some just don't bring up to a 4, 3.75. Best match, I'm going to give a tie between the main event Hell in a Cell, which is Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, because all that spot, and the other one is the 2 out of 3 falls match. Now, people are complaining, oh, why did Bray, the IWC is complaining about the ending, but you knew WWE was going to go somewhere with the clean ending, because if you give someone like a Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins something clean, that kills the other person's momentum, this is why I like having these inconsistent finishes. Worst match has to be Brie Bella being Nikki Bella's bitch for a minute.
Oh, God.
No, God. No.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's the worst. That's the worst match and the worst segment because of the backstage segment.
So much terrible.
And the best segment has to be YFC.
I give up on these people. Seriously, I give up.
I knew you were waiting for that one, James. I just knew you were waiting for that one. Finally, we're going to go to Cartman and get his overall score and his picks for best and worst match of Hell in a Cell. Cartman?
Score, I have to give it 3.5. The Bellas just murdered the entire show. No. Best match, obviously, goes to Rollins and Ambrose inside Hell in a Cell. Or more of the fact outside Hell in a Cell. But that gets the worst. Bellas, just no. Just stop. Get rid of both of them. They're both terrible. They have no clue what they're doing. Just go away. Yeah.
Hey, Brie Bella's boning Daniel Bryan, so I think she earned her spot, if you know what I mean.
Still, just go away.
Billy, I gotta ask, how Nikki earned her spot?
We'll give everyone a clue. It has something to do with this hat. Let's just say that it has something to do with this hat. If you guys can kind of get what I'm saying. But anyway, on that note, guys and gals, what we want to know now from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Hell in a Cell this year. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match of the pay-per-view? We definitely want to know what you guys think. Be sure you put your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. What can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV.
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck gourmet cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants. If you hadn't subscribed, why hadn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, the number one commandment in the Who Dat Temple is definitely to do the YMCA. It's James from the Big Easy. James, you got anything coming up?
Not really. Me busy with my work schedule, it kind of gets me away from doing anything really, like any reporting on any of the Facebook pages that I'm on. But after the season's over, I will be posting a lot of news and articles. And the Who Dat Temple, I'm gonna be on either iVlog.tv where I do the game shows, or if I'm on PS4, I will be on twitch.tv/fatboy504. I'll be doing Destiny, and when WWE 2K15 comes out, you will see me do that too.
By the way, I still hate you for that. Getting a PS4.
Okay.
Anyway, and Cartman finally is on YouTube in his own neck of the woods. Cartman, as he's apparently displaying his controller, got anything coming up?
Xbox One.
Not really.
Not really?
No.
Fans, don't forget to follow me on the Facebook page, facebook.com/WGS-TV, and don't forget to please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer and youtube.com/ZFXTV Network if you haven't already. So for the incomparable Lance Moss of Lance Moss TV, James the Big Easy, and the man from South Park, simply known as Cartman, I'm the WrestleGamer. There will be Billy Bujo saying thank you very much for watching.